Lots of characters were given their own games. Peach was given her own game, Toad, Donkey Kong, Yoshi, they all have their own games, so why not one specific character or one villain getting his own game, being Bowser? Yes, Bowser may be a villain, but why can't he have his own title in the Mario franchise? And I know, here come the comments. Mario and Luigi, Mario and Luigi, Mario and Luigi. Okay, I understand it's called Bowser's Inside Story, but it's a Mario and Luigi game featuring Bowser. I'm talking about a completely from the ground up Bowser game. I want to see Bowser punching his way through the competition and commanding his grand army with all of his great booby goodness. Except for that last part, I'm sorry. So before we dive into his full moveset and everything that he's going to do within this game, we have to look at all the games that he was actually playable and pull from those and talk about some of his moveset a little bit. Now let's just jump straight on into Super Mario Odyssey. Now I know lots of this moveset is based on Mario as well since he is controlling Bowser, but this is still Bowser's moves overall. He has the claw swipe and he can jump pretty high regardless of whether it's Mario or Bowser. We've seen Bowser jump on high places before, so this is still intact. And he also has his signature fireball, and it's pretty much just basic Bowser in Super Mario Odyssey. Nothing too crazy until we get into the other games. Now we have Bowser's Inside Story. This game was an overhead camera free roaming RPG. And I'm kind of seeing this game as an open world 3D environment adventure game, kind of like Mario Odyssey, not as open world though, and I'll get to that in a second. But first, his overall moves were rolling in a spike ball, his body slash shell slam, and punching and breathing fire like we're used to. During battle, he could also punch and breathe fire, and also use his shell as a shield from upcoming enemies above. Now the big thing with this game is Bowser could use his minions as a way to attack with special attacks, and he had to find these minions throughout the journey as well, so maybe this ties into his moveset. Maybe he has to find minions throughout his adventure in order to gain their power-ups. Super Paper Mario is just a 2D side-scroller where Bowser can simply walk and breathe fire, so there's not much to pull from there. But we can get more into his moveset by looking at his boss battles in some of the other games, such as the fact that he can collect items and use them the same way the Mario Brothers can. He had the Tanuki tail in Super Mario 3D Land, even though it really technically wasn't him. We know he can utilize that tail. We know he could turn into Meowser with the Super Bell from Super Mario 3D World, and he has a spike shell roll that he can use similar to the Mario and Luigi series that he did in Super Mario Galaxy 1's final boss fight. He can also get very big when his life depends on it, which is very key to a special power-up that he might be able to do in his own game. So let's talk about the story, because whatever the story is, it's not going to be Bowser and his son in a hot tub. We're not doing that again. But I think some evil forces outside of the Mushroom Kingdom might take over, and Bowser might be the only one left over. Maybe everybody's taken and Bowser was out one day or comes back and sees everybody is gone, his minions and the Mushroom Kingdom minions alike. The antagonist could be someone new, or perhaps go back to Fawful from the Mario & Luigi series. He is a very good boss and somebody that many fans still love today, and there's a good reason why. He commands his army in such a grand way, and his schemes and plans are so well calculated, he knows exactly what he's doing to take over, and he gave Bowser a definite run for his money. So what will happen is Bowser would start off with just a simple basic moveset, and he'll learn new ones throughout his adventure, and as he gets new recruits and henchmen, he can use them as his special abilities as he finds them. So he can develop a stronger punch, maybe shoot certain fireballs out, and do some cool things with his shell once he unlocks those moves. There could also be main characters that go alongside Bowser, such as his son Bowser Jr., Kamek, and also the Koopalings. Maybe this game will also be co-op and your partner can play as one of the henchmen themselves. Now we get to the gameplay. This will be a 3D adventure slash beat 'em up game with just Bowser as the skin. And just like Kid Icarus, where Pit goes around just smashing enemies and destroying everybody of the underworld, the same thing happens with Bowser, just destroying different minions from whoever the main antagonist is, whether it be Fawful's minions or whoever it is. Or it could be kind of in the vein of Wario World. And I know that sounds extremely weird, but I know Wario World isn't the most highly anticipated game to ever come out of its time, but it was a really fun game to play nevertheless because it was so wacky. Wario goes around beating up enemies, picking them up and tossing them around, and that's kind of how Bowser would handle things. In that 3D environment, that's fun to look around, explore, and find secrets as well. Odyssey is also a really good game to look at here because it won't be as expansive as that game, but it will be an open world for many secrets to be uncovered and many things to do as the Koopa King himself. So I leave it to you guys. What do you think of Bowser having his actual own video game on the Nintendo Switch or a future platform? Do you think it's going to work out just as well as the other characters having their own games? Do you think Bowser could actually carry his own game? I thought Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story was so much fun, not just because of Mario & Luigi, but mainly because of Bowser. Bowser's gameplay was something I've never experienced before in a video game, and I thought it was so cool to play around as this bulky, huge boss that's been the baddie of the Mario franchise for the longest of time. So I think he's long overdue for his own video game to save the Mushroom Kingdom and his kingdom both in the clutches of his claws. Let's just hope he does it without having boobs.